Welcome to a brand new season of the final Siren with Duck and Oz from the Purple Rain. Oz, first up, a bit of a tough loss. Round 2, first game back at Optus. Really excited getting here, seeing the banners up, seeing the drums up, seeing the anchor, hearing the Tame Impala song, just seeing people around the ground in their Dockers gear, in their purple. And the boys, started off really well. Good first quarter, pretty solid second quarter, but then it was just that third quarter that really let us down.
Yeah, look, firstly, great to see footy back, great to see crowds back, and it was awesome to be part of that. So the buzz around the ground before bounce down was fantastic. So I was really... I was really happy with that, and then looking forward to how the game played out. Unfortunately, obviously it didn't go our way, and we'll talk about that in a second, but certainly the start, I thought, here we go. We're up and about. This is something else. But, at the end of the day, when games swing like that, particularly in the third quarter, Duck, and you'll talk about that in a second, it's really important that we try and arrest that ascendancy that occurred. And if you could just talk through a few points there, because I think we should just get straight to it, because really,
mate.
That third quarter was really the issue, I guess.
So in the third quarter, it's 6 goals 3 to 1 goal 3. Higgins kicks 3 and King kicks 3. And it was just, I guess it's the 6-6-6 rules and the rolling on and the centre square clearances that I think J-Lo will no doubt be working on over the next couple of days, because I think against Adelaide as well, third quarter was a similar kind of thing where because of our relatively inexperienced midfield, you got Will Brodie, who hasn't played that many games. You've got Andy Brayshaw, who had an outstanding day today, 39 touches. At times, Lloyd Meek, who actually hasn't played that many games, and I thought he had a really good game anyway. Sean Darcy rolls his ankle, and that changes things around a bit. And Caleb Strong, we forget he's in his third year of footy, and, he looks really good. But, again, it's those young guys that are in there, and once a roll goes on, there's not that Fife, who we know is going to be out for 3 to 6 with his back issues, and Mundy, who had his health and safety protocols this week, that we really missed that experience in the guts. And just an older head just to steady the ship, and that sometimes can be the way, because like Keanu Reeves in The Replacements, mate, sometimes the biggest thing we fear is quicksand.
Yeah.
Where we just can't get out of those problems, and one thing rolls into another, and it just compounds. And I thought realistically, Alex Pearce, despite King kicking those 3 goals in that quarter, I thought he was our best on ground personally.
Fantastic.
As a skipper, he was outstanding. I thought the run and carry that he provided, I thought his intercept was great. I thought he really did a great job on King. I thought out of those 3 goals, probably only one was his fault, where, again, it was that panic and that chaos ball inside 50, and he just didn't quite get touch and feel. But the other 2 were from turnovers, and, you can't do anything. It doesn't matter if he had Stephen Silvani, as Ross Lyon would say.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter who was on King at that stage.
Yeah,
but
look, at the end of the day, Duck, I'd love to see the attack on the footy from Pearce come back in the way that it did today, which is fantastic, and I really like the way he's going about it. More to the point, I think we probably need to raise this. I think from the first bounce, the intent was there from both sides. I thought the intensity was up, the physicality was there. Both teams were having a red-hot crack, and you could tell that, it was so physical and taxing that we started to see more errors in simple things like handballs out and kicks and marks and etc., and getting to targets and being able to butter up second, third efforts, etc. We found that a lot of the boys were fatiguing a lot faster. We really could see that playing out in the third quarter. But I think certainly from the perspective of effort, I thought the effort and intensity was there. It was great to see some physical contest. And look, the way that we look at football, we want the boys to have a crack. We want the boys to be in and under. We want the boys to be given everything that they've got, and that's what we got out of it. But you've got to be cleaner. Got to be a little cleaner. You've got to be able to arrest that ascendancy and go from there.
Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? I think we've got a interview on the line now. We've got the stand-in skipper.
Hello, Alex here.
Hello, Alex. It's Dustin. Oh, Dustin. It's Duck and Oz here from the Purple Rain, mate. How you going?
Oh, it's been better, boys, but...
Mate, look, I know you're going to talk about the game in a second, and you're going to talk about from your perspective, perhaps what you saw on the ground and play it out. But just say, certainly from a fan's perspective, mate, it's great to see you out there attacking the footy with freedom. And certainly we thought, we were just talking about your game, and we thought, you're probably best on. And we know that the result wasn't the result, obviously, that we were looking for as a footy club. But, personally, it was great to see you out there and hitting it real hard. Talk to us about, obviously, how you think you play, but, I guess, obviously, the result as well.
Yeah, I'll start with the result. Obviously, very disappointing. We played some good footy in the first quarter. Some accurate kicking helped us. The second quarter, we were under the pump a little bit, and our backline was able to hold up pretty well. And then, third quarter, they obviously got on top, had a few entries. As a backline, we were a bit sloppy. They were scoring a bit easy, and it was a little bit like last week, to be honest, where they got on a bit of a roll, and then we went into our shells a little bit, couldn't stem the tide. In that last quarter, we had a bit of a crack. We still our basics let us down at times, and we just went a bit too long, going inside 50 when we had the chance. I thought we could have taken a few more risks and lowered our eyes a bit. Personally, look, I was happy with how I was moving, and for large parts of the game. Obviously, the third quarter was tough. King got on top, kicked a few and got his tail up, and he's a real confidence player. So I knew that going in. So I really didn't want to let him get his tail up, but he did. I thought I was able to bounce back reasonably well in the last and take the game on a few times. Personally, I'm feeling good at it. The body's good. I was running the game out well. So look, we'll look at our wound. It's really disappointing. Really disappointing to dish that up at home, but that's footy. We'll get another chance next week in a big game to lift our performance.
Yeah, and just on that, Alex, how is the body feeling, mate? You played most of last year, but you've had a bit of a horror run on injuries. But how are you feeling with your body, in particular in your legs?
Yeah, good. Got through a whole heap of the pre-season, the most I've done in a very long time. So I'm feeling really fit, and I feel like I can run out games really well, which has always been a strength of mine. So yeah, look, I'm really confident. There's nothing holding me back at the moment. So yeah, I'm excited just to be free and to be out there playing. Just more wins would be nice.
Yeah, look, I think what we talked about in that third term, it just looked like the service that was being delivered into King was not really a hell of a lot you could do about it. And when he starts getting in your grill like that, talk through the psyche as a defender. I mean, how do you recover there? Because clearly, he's getting up and about and into your grill, and there's nothing that you can do about it. But certainly, how do you respond in those situations?
Yeah, look, it's easy to get quite emotional and quite sort of reserved and thinking about myself and thinking about results and what people are thinking and all those type of things. But it's really I really try to just go back to my focuses, and that was to try and be really physical on him.
Yep.
When he got his goals, he just likes he's quite tall and likes to get in behind, and they did have some nice delivery, but I just need to work harder on getting some back shoulder and being a bit more physical with him. Sometimes it's going to happen, and I know that there's going to be games where forwards are going to get on top. That's the nature of the game, but I've got a responsibility to lead and have really strong body language and not drop my head. So that was it, just to make sure that next contest I get, just make an impact, try and do something to lift the boys, because it's not something I really want as captain. I want to be leading from the front. So when he's getting on top like that, I just want to try and make a bit of an impact and make my mark a little bit back on the game and try and lift those around me. So yeah, it's not easy, but that happens. It's the life of a defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talk us through the back six, mate, because you've got Hamling back for the first time in about a year since he's played a game of footy. Griffin Logue obviously has also been in and out with injuries, and yourself. What's it like to play with those two other guys? And of course, you've got Lukey Ryan, Hayden Young, Jordan Clark, and young Chappie down there. So a bit of a mix of young and old.
Yeah, it's good. Our backline at the moment, like our core group of 10 to 12 blokes are all really tight. We may not have played a heap of footy together, but we're a group of guys that are really, really close and really connected. So we love playing with each other. It was really great to see Joel back out there in the purple. It's been a long time. It's been a hard road for him. So I would have loved to celebrate with a win today for him, but I know he'll take a lot out of that game, and still is quite a young backline. So we just need to keep. We'll take a lot of lessons from these sort of games when we're under pressure. You learn the most when you're really under the pump and you get done a few times. So look, we'll regroup. There's a lot of competition at the moment for all spots. We've got Coxie that'll be fighting to come back. Ethan Hughes, Brandon Walker, these guys playing at Peel. So yeah, look, it's good fun playing with these guys, but we're gonna lick our wounds a little bit and make sure we really respond next week.
Yeah, I guess from what you were saying just before, I mean, certainly from adversity potentially comes that opportunity. And you were talking about some of the guys that, training really hard and knocking at the door. From your perspective, is it something that you've really noticed this season where we've got, more players that are really knocking at the door? We've got more of a healthy list by the sounds of it. And is that helping at training to push the, I guess, the intensity, but also, the standards that are going on down there and helping the team push forward?
Yeah, absolutely. All pre-season, we had a lot of guys out on the park, and when we're playing these practice matches against each other, often we've got 6 defenders at one end, 6 at the other end, and you look and you think that either 6 could be playing AFL footy. So they're really hungry, these guys that aren't playing at the moment. So they're doing everything they can, and it's not just backs. There's guys all through the line. So from this sort of performance, the only thing we can do is get to training and work really hard. And we've got a lot of guys, as I said, that are hungry, and we'll take the lessons from this and make sure that we improve next week.
Just quickly, Brennan Cox obviously going out with COVID protocols. How did Luke Ryan avoid that? Because we know these guys are joined at the hip. Is there any kind of investigation going into that by yourself of how Lukey Ryan? Is there a split that we don't know about? A little bit of a fracture in the relationship? Because they seem to be joined at the hip, but somehow Coxie's in the COVID protocols, but Lukey Ryan isn't.
Yeah, well, I've both got girlfriends at the moment, so I think I've stopped sleeping in the same bed and had to move bedrooms. And now, luckily, Lukey Ryan was at his girlfriend's place for a couple of nights, which I don't think happens too often. So, he got very lucky. But we'll take it. So, good to have Lukey out there, and I'm sure Cox will be pushing his case forward next week.
Yeah, look, obviously, mate, I know that you're down, but if you look across the board, I think the competition's super even from what we can see, and a lot of results that were quite surprising over the weekend shows that all you need to do is be, 2% not even off your game, and then the opposition can easily get a sniff and then potentially sneak over the line. So, we've heard it many a time, it's never as good, it's never as bad, and whilst last week's result was sensational in terms of that, last-minute heroics, and this week wasn't so flash. At the end of the day, we're only one result out. So, how do you get the boys up and about for next week, knowing that, especially being in that leadership group, how do you get the boys up and about knowing that all we really need to do is just do a couple of small things a little better, and then, bada bing, bada boom, we're back in the game? Yeah.
Look, you just got to move on quick. We've got 22 games for the year, so if you really dwell on each result, whether it be good or bad, it doesn't really do anything. It takes your mind off what's important, and that's, to be honest, for the first couple of days, just trying to get away from the game and relax and recover. We'll spend a day reviewing this one, learn our lessons, and then put it behind us, move forward, prepare for West Coast this week, and move on. So it's really important that we try to remove ourselves from this result pretty quick. Like, personally, it'll be probably write some notes tonight when I get home, leave it off my mind, get to the club Tuesday, we do our review, we learn our lessons, and then it's done, it's behind us, and we're moving forward. So you've got to learn your lessons for sure, but you've also got to have a short memory and move on, because dwelling on these disappointments is no good for anyone.
And big game coming up this week with the Derby. I know we've just finished a game, but obviously got the Derby coming up. Eagles had a lot of people out with the COVID protocols this week, but hopefully they'll be back next week for a nice even game. And we've got 75% capacity at Optus, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be good. Derbies are always a big week, and we'll be looking to looking to respond and not worrying too much about what's happening at West Coast at the moment. We've got enough to worry about here. As I said, we'll learn our lessons, improve, put in a really good performance. West Coast home game, so we'll be trying to keep those Eagles fans really quiet.
Yeah, I was just going to say, imagine in your prep leading up to the Eagles game, there must be a lot of people booing into mics, recording it, and he's playing over speakers, and you just get used to the boos. Is that something that you enjoy playing in front of?
To be honest, I always love playing at home in front of our fans, and anything else isn't that great. But look, the last couple of years there's been no crowd, so I'd much rather get atmosphere, and it's always good fun, regardless whether they're getting stuck in you or whether they're on your side. So
yep.
Awesome. And just quickly, last question, Alex. Weirdest unit at the club?
Weirdest unit. Nathan O'Driscoll has a bit of a run for it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we have a new kid.
That is the first. You are the first person to take more than 1 second before saying tabs. But I don't know if he's out with the hamstring. He's just back of your mind. But Nathan O'Driscoll, Noddy, new weird unit at the club.
Okay. He was early in my mind. I love Drizz. He's one of the great men of the club. He's a good kid, but he's a funny man at times, and it's great to see him get out there today and kick that goal. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
ripper.
It's a great memory for him. So we all love Drew. So hopefully he gets a bit more opportunities moving forward.
All right, thanks for joining us, Alex. Great game today individually, mate, but obviously a bit tough not getting the chocolates.
Yeah, too easy, fellas. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Mate, great to talk to Alex Pearce there. As I said, I thought he was his best game he's played for us since the broken leg nearly. So I don't want to say breakout game, but getting back to those pre-second broken leg style of games, mate. Outstanding. Just a couple other points I wanted to touch on. I thought Hayden Young was really great. There seemed to be an instruction to get the ball to him at all costs, and his foot skills were outstanding again today. I thought young Meekie continues to grow. He looks like a good old-fashioned footballer. I think he's from country Victoria. I don't know, but he seems like a good country lad. Yeah, he's got the haircut, mate. He's looking good. He went forward and kicked the goal as well. And, for the Darcy-Meek combo to continue to work, I think, and hopefully Darcy's not out for too long with that ankle. He just slightly rolled it and ended up getting subbed off. So, don't know with Darcy. He might be back next week. We saw him last year come back off a knee when he got subbed off. So, hopefully he's back because we'll need all soldiers on deck. But I think Meek's really providing himself and proving himself to be a really good, solid number 2 ruckman. And, as we can see throughout the year, you need depth in your list. And we don't know what's going to happen this year. If you've got someone like Meek as your second ruckman, I think we're pretty happy going forward. I thought Brayshaw, again, tried hard, 39 disposals, works his guts off. Andy, he's probably the favourite at the moment for the Doig, and he's taken his game to another level, and he really stood up today with no Mundy or Fife. So Andy Brayshaw continues to go, and, again, that leadership and potentially a future leader at our club in terms of a captain. Noddy's goal, fantastic. Nathan O'Driscoll gave us a sniff, mate, and that's all we want. We just needed a bit of sniff. And in a situation where we couldn't kick a goal to save ourselves in that last quarter and just kept repeat inside 50s, I thought Noddy's goal was fantastic. And Heath Chapman.
Yeah. I like Chappie going forward. I thought it, and also low push forward late there too, but it was great to see Chapman have a crack at sort of half forward and sort of create some opportunities, and even inside 50 there, like clean hands inside, was a different look for him. So it would have been great if we had have managed to sneak it over and somehow he was able to get some hands out. That would have been good from 1 week to the next. But again, what we find is, with these opportunities, we're seeing more and more of different players, which is great. Yes, I understand that it's not ideal to have Fife out and to have Mundy out and to have Tabs out and to have Cox out, but when you think about it, there are opportunities for younger players to come in or opportunities for other players to come in and show what they've got. And, Pearce alluded to it before, we've got depth and we will need that depth. I mean, it's one of those seasons that could turn very quickly. We don't know what's going to happen. Look what happened down the road there at the Boo Birds. And ultimately, you've got to be ready. And if we've got guys that are already knocking at the door, it's just a case of seamlessly slipping in and seeing how we go. So I thought it was awesome to see Noddy get a gig and to come out and take his opportunity with both hands. I thought he was great. Showed a lot of promise there and straight into the guts. Straight into the guts.
Bit of a charger.
Fantastic.
And mate, look, big game, just looking into next week, big game against the Eagles. Obviously, they've got COVID protocols going AWOL at the club. But I think really good opportunity, Dockers fans, to maybe purchase tickets off your Eagles friends. We won the last derby, Siren kick goal of the year. It's going to be a tight one, I feel like, after that pre-season match we played at the start of the year, the second pre-season match here in front of no one. But I'm really looking forward to next week, mate. Big game, big atmosphere here. I know it's an Eagles home game, but I'm sure we'll be sniffing around somewhere, mate. And hopefully a win and we go back in derby wins and we get back on that positive side, 2-1 rather than 1-2. And I think that'll be really important to, see us moving forward and looking for that final spot, because I think we're in that 6 to 12 spot, and you've got to beat the teams around you that are in that battling out for that. And St Kilda are one of those teams, So big week ahead. RAC Derby coming up. So, it's going to be exciting. Going to be really exciting.
I think, again, you got to remember, it's never as good, never as bad. And whilst it is disappointing that we lost, there are positives to take out of it. I think if you're a Freo fan, there's enough positives to take out of that game, particularly from the younger crew that are coming through to go, oh boy, there's some exciting stuff to come through. And next week, both teams are going to bring it. It's going to be a different level.
Yeah.
So certainly looking forward to the derby.
And realistically, Oz, like David Mundy is 36, 37, Fifey is 30-odd. We've got to think beyond these guys. So games like this it's what's the norm's going to be in a couple of years' time, We've really got to... And increasing that midfield depth is really seems to be a priority now. So, look... We'll see how we go next week. I think this week we'll lick our wounds. We'll get back on the track. Competition. There's plenty of competition down at the club, so hopefully that brings out the best of us. And in the end, it was one quarter of footy that really let us down in that third quarter again, second week in a row. So bit of a weird one, because last year our third quarters were our best quarters, I felt. So we just keep working hard. 2 games in.
Yeah, it's only 2 games.
2 games in, and we got 20 more to go. So hopefully, what do you reckon, 20-0?
Yeah.
Just straight up, run the table from here on in.
Last time we did that was...
all right, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe, rate, and review. Do all those kinds of things. We're the Purple Rain, so we do a podcast as well on a Monday afternoon. So get around us at Purple Rain 95. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And, we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Absolutely. See you later.